Now let's expound more on some of the items that were already mentioned earlier, particularly on the undelivered checks, post-dated checks delivered, and the stale check. So as mentioned, the undelivered check are those checks that were already written, but we were not able to give them to our payees or supposed to be recipients before the end of the reporting period. So since they did not receive the check, so the payment was not received by them. So if the payment was not received by them, hindi pa rin tayo nakakapagbayad. But when the checks were written, they were recorded in our books as debit to accounts payable and then credit to cash. Again, when the checks were written or when that check was written, nag-debit na sa accounts payable and nag-credit na sa cash. So, on paper, na-reduce na yung balance natin sa cash because of the check written. But at the end of the year, it was found out that the check was not delivered to your payee. So, hindi tayo nakapagbayad. So, if hindi tayo nakapagbayad, our money related to that payment still belongs to us. That's why the adjusting entry is debit to cash para ibalik ibalik ang money per record kasi hindi naman nabawasan yung money natin sa bangko. So debit cash and then credit accounts payable, which means that we re-established the liability. Binalik natin uli yung liability kasi nga hindi pa tayo nakapagbayad. Let's go to the post-dated check delivered. This one, the check was received by our payee, but the date is a post date. So, a date that is later than the reporting period. So, gaya ng sinabi kanina, wala pang bayad na natanggap yung payee. Okay? Wala pang bayad na natanggap kasi hindi pa siya pwedeng mag-withdraw ng money from the bank or hindi pa niya pwedeng ipa-encash yung money from that check hanggat hindi dumadating yung date na nakasaad sa cheque. So, per records, nakabayad tayo kasi nag-debit accounts payable, credit cash. Pero in substance, wala pang bayad or wala pang pagbabayad na naging successful doon. Kasi nga, hindi pa pwedeng ipa-encash ni payee. So, kasi hindi pa niya pwedeng ipa-encash, hindi pa tayo nakapagbayad. So, we have to revert back our cash. So, debit cash, credit accounts payable. Hindi pa tayo nakapagbayad. So, we have to credit again the accounts payable. So, binalik natin yung utang. Then, the stale check is a check na hindi na pa-encash ni payee. Natanggap na ni payee, pero pwede na misplace niya, nakalimutan niya ipa-encash. So, per banking practice, the check is treated as stale if hindi pa siya napapa-encash within 6 months from the time of issuance. So, therefore, hindi na valid yung check for encashment kung naging stale na siya. So, in this case, yung adjusting entries dito is for checks na tayo yung nag-write or tayo yung nag-release. So, pag natanggap na yun ng customer natin, pero several months after, napansin natin na yung bayad related to that check is hindi pa rin nababawas sa account natin, we have to correct our records. Kasi sa record natin, nagbayad na tayo. Pero sa statement, sa bank statement, hindi pa rin nababawasan yung money natin sa bangko related to that check. So, hindi pareho yung records natin sa books natin at saka yung records sa bangko. Kasi sa bangko, wala pang deduction o hindi pa na-withdraw yung money related to that check, pero sa books natin, ni-record na natin yung payment. So, hindi sila pareho. Hindi magkatugma yung recording. So, kailangan nating i-correct because in reality, hindi pa nakakomplete yung bayad. Okay? So, how do we adjust? Ibabalik natin yung money. So, we debit cash and we credit miscellaneous income if the amount in the check is treated as immaterial. But if the amount is material, malaki-laki, we need to establish again the liability. So, mag-credit ng accounts payable or any appropriate liability account. Now, let's go to shortage and overage. When does an overage or a shortage happen? So, a shortage happens when your cash count shows that your cash per count is less than your balance per book. Ano yung cash count, ma'am? Ano naman yung balance per book? When we say cash count, at the end of the day, or depende sa company policy, but usually at the end of the day, we need to count the money on hand, and we also have to check our mga deposits and everything that is related with cash. We have to count them para ma-check kung magtatali ba siya or hindi dun sa records natin. Ano yung nasa records natin? So, we have our existing balance of cash if ever meron from the prior day or prior business day, plus all the collections for that day. So, saan mo makikita yung collection? Pwede mo siyang makita dun sa receipts, di ba? So, count mo yung na-record dun sa receipts. If you have your automatic na recording sa accounting system ninyo, so may entry na dun. So, per records, i-compare natin siya dun sa money per count. So, ano yung mga ano yung actual na nandun, pati yung deposit. So, check natin kung kulang ba yung per count or sobra ba siya or tama or tugma siya dun sa recording. So, for example, yung nasa records natin na balance natin ng cash is 50,000. Pag-count natin sa cash, yung total is 49,000. So, kulang, di ba? Supposed to be yung accountability natin, kung tama yung pagkaka-record natin, 50,000 siya. Pero nung kinount natin, ano na lang siya, 49,000. Okay? Parang pag binigyan ka ng budget ng mama mo, di ba? Nilista ng mama mo na yung binigay sa'yo is 1,000. So, inutusan ka mamili dun sa palengke. Tapos pag uwi mo sa mama mo, inaudit niya yung binili mo, tsaka yung natitirang money. Okay? So, chinek niya yung ilan yung natirang money, yung per count. So, i-check niya kung magkano yung natira plus yung mga pinamili mo, magkano yung mga pinamili mo, dapat magtali siya dun sa 1,000 na budget. So, yung accountability mo is yung 1,000 na binigay sa'yo. Yun din dapat yung magiging total ng lahat ng pinamili mo plus kung may fare pa, yung pamasahe, plus yung sobra, yung sukli. So, dapat magtali. Pag kulang, hanapin niya sa'yo, nasaan na yung difference, nasan yung kulang. So, dun sa example ko, 49,000 yung na-account. Pero yung nasa record is 50,000. So, kulang ng 1,000. So, papaano naman natin i-adjust yun? So, ang susundin natin is yung magkano yung nasa count. Kasi yung nasa count is 49,000. We need to bring the records to the cash per count. dapat yung nasa records natin is yung amount dun sa cash count. Yung amount dun sa cash count is 49,000. So therefore, we need to adjust and reduce the 50,000 to bring it to 49,000. So paano yun? So babawasan mo yung cash. So credit cash, 1,000, and debit cash short or over, that's 1,000. So kung nasa debit siya, yung cash short or over, that would represent a shortage. Pero pag opposite, credit yung entry, then that is an overage. So going back to the shortage, so if the cashier or the cash custodian is held responsible for the shortage, so at fault si custodian, pwedeng mali yung sukli niya, kulang yung sukli or kulang yung money, nasobraan ba niya ng sukli yung customer, or na-misplace niya ba yung money, or intentionally ba nagamit niya yung pera. So, we will debit due from cashier. Okay, whatever reason, basta yung custodian or cashier yung at fault. So, sisingilin natin from the cashier. That's why due from cashier. That's a receivable. Then, credit cash short or over. Then, if reasonable efforts fail to disclose the cause, so hindi malaman ang dahilan kung bakit hindi nagtali yung records at yung count, so hindi kasalanan ni cashier, so i-debit natin loss from cash shortage. Hindi na natin ma-recover yung money. Okay? Of course, kung nasingil natin sa cashier, so i-debit natin cash kung natanggap na natin yung bayad, and then credit due from cashier. On the other hand, the overage is opposite of the shortage. Yung shortage is nagkulang yung count. Sa overage is sumobra. For example, 50,000 yung per book, yung sa records, pero pag count, naging 52,000. So, mas malaki yung nasa count kaysa sa dun sa records. Pwedeng mali yung records, tama yung 52,000, mali yung records, kulang yung nasulat or what. Pwede rin naman na tama yung records, yung 50,000, pero yung money is, may money doon na hindi galing doon sa operations. Pwedeng money ni custodian or money ng ibang tao na mix up dun sa cash collections. Pwede rin yun. But pag sumobra yung cash count, you are going to recognize that overage. Kagaya dun sa shortage, yung ipa-follow nating balance is kung ano yung nasa count. So kung yung nasa count is 52,000, so yun rin dapat yung ilalagay natin sa records kasi yun yung actual dun. So that's why magde-debit ng cash because we're going to increase the balance per record. From 50 gagawing 52. So debit 2,000 cash and credit cash short or over. If walang nag-claim dun sa 2,000, walang naghanap, so i-close mo yung cash short or over and you credit it as a miscellaneous income. But if the overage belongs to the cashier or the custodian, okay, turns out na pera pala yun ni cashier, nagpa-change ba siya or yung cheque, pina-convert niya into actual bills. So, na-mix yung money niya. So, isasaoli mo sa cashier or custodian. So, cash short or over, then payable to cashier.
If you like this video, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated with the latest video lessons. Thank you for watching.